Right, what's going on? Welcome to We Got a Problem. So we have the Trump press conference earlier, and guess what? Trump dropped it. He has been slaying bloody Jeremy Corbyn, Sadiq Khan, Brexit. He even talks about the Brexit, the Conservative leadership contest as well. So let's get into it, and we'll analyse each one of them as we go.
Thank you. Now we're going to take 2 questions from the UK media and 2 questions from the American media. I'll start with Beth Rigby.
Thank you. Thank you, Prime Minister President Trump. Beth Rigby from Sky News. For you, President Trump, as you hold talks with the current Prime Minister, the leader of Her Majesty's opposition has been addressing a protest rally against your visit in Trafalgar Square. He says he's disappointed you attacked the London mayor, and he criticised your record on refugees. What do you have to say to him? And is this man someone you could do a trade deal with? And to you, Prime Minister, do you think that Sadiq Khan is a stone-cold loser? Thank you.
You're talking about the Mayor of London. Is that who you said? Yes. Well, I think he's been a not very good mayor, from what I understand. He's done a poor job. Crime is up, a lot of problems. And I don't think he should be criticizing a representative of the United States that can do so much good for the United Kingdom. We talked about it before. He should be positive, not negative. He's a negative force, not a positive force. And if you look at what he said, he hurts the people of this great country. And I think he should actually focus on his job. It'd be a lot better if he did that. He could straighten out some of the problems that he has and probably some of the problems that he's caused.
So you can see there that Trump points out a load of facts. That Khan is a terrible mayor. That since he's been involved, crime has gone up. He is criticising the USA and its president, which is one of the greatest partners of the UK and one of our biggest trading partners, and will become an even bigger trading partner after Brexit. He says that Khan's a negative force, which he is. He creates division. People in London don't like him, exposed except for a select few. He talks nonsense on the internet and in the newspapers. There's nothing good about him. He has nothing positive to say about anyone. He's part of Labour. That's what they go for. Now, Trump also points out that he hurts the UK, which goes back to what I said. He does hurt the UK. He definitely hurts the people of London. To a lesser extent, I think, the UK, but London's fortunes dictate the fortunes of the rest of the country. So he does affect the country in that way, I suppose. And then Trump, I love how Trump points out at the end about how the problems that Sadiq Khan has actually caused, because he has caused them. A lot of his mouth and a lot of the things he's done or hasn't done have caused the problems that are rife in London at the moment.
Thank you.
Gonna...
Jerry, yes, he wanted to meet with me, and I told him no. Yes. Well, I don't know Jeremy Corbyn. Never met him. Never spoke to him. He wanted to meet today or tomorrow, and I decided that I would not do that. I think that he is, from where I come from, somewhat of a negative force. I think that people should look to do things correctly as opposed to criticize. I really don't like critics as much as I like and respect people that get things done. So I've decided not to meet. As far
Oh shit, Trump's fucking dropping it on him, isn't he? I mean, she asked about Jeremy Corbyn, but they do mess up the audio on that bit. But from what I can tell, she's asking him about meeting Jeremy Corbyn or Jeremy Corbyn's boycott. But this moment is actual gold because Trump instantly shuts down Corbyn's lies about boycotting the banquet. It turns out that Commie Corbyn actually begged for a seat at the table, but was rejected by the God Emperor Trump. Oh my God. So he's been peddling about boycotting it and standing up in protest with everyone, and I stand in solidarity. No, you tried to get a seat at the table. Trump told you to go away because you're a communist scumbag, and then you started getting a bit salty about it, so you went and did your little protest which we'll get to the protests in a minute.
As the protests, I have to tell you, because I commented on it yesterday, we left the Prime Minister, the Queen, the royal family. There were thousands of people on the streets cheering. And even coming over today, there were thousands of people cheering. And then I heard that there were protests. I said, where are the protests? I don't see any protests. I did see a small protest today when I came, very small. So a lot of it is fake news, I hate to say. But you saw the people waving the American flag, waving your flag. It was tremendous spirit and love. There was great love. It was an alliance. And I didn't see the protesters until just a little while ago, and it was a very, very small group of people put in for political reasons. So it was fake news. Thank you.
Right, so we got the protests. The old 250,000 person protest. Remember yesterday I reported that that was the numbers they estimated. And then we have Trump saying he hasn't seen many. And from what I can find by looking around, there doesn't seem to be many. But we do get the BBC's James Cook tweeting an hour ago, I have spent all day on the streets of London. We struggled through throngs of anti-Trump protesters. Many tens of thousands of them. I also saw tiny handfuls of Trump fans. This is not fake news. We have the pictures. Okay, you have the pictures. But then we do also have this little piece from the BBC News channel. Let's take a look.
No, it's here. This is the protest. There are people here protesting. There are speeches going on that stage. That's where Jeremy Corbyn was speaking. Now you can argue about the numbers. We can't be clear. It's hard to estimate. I would say at least a few thousand people who gathered in Trafalgar Square earlier and then marched down Whitehall and have gathered here for this rally in Parliament Square.
Now, it sounds to me like the other BBC reporter had a torrid time getting through all these protesters. So much, in fact, that the few thousand that were there casually walked down the street, stood at Parliament Square. Corbyn attended a rally in front of a few thousand people. That's the leader of the opposition and the big Remain party. Well, I suppose they are a Remain party. They haven't come out and said it, but that's what they want to do. So, a few thousand communists come out to oppose Trump. And then yesterday we had, like I said, the 250,000 claims with their 20-foot Trump balloon. What an absolute joke these people are. So yeah, Trump is kind of right. Fake news. Now, I don't know if he's right about there being lots of Trump supporters. I don't know. The news ain't really going to report on Trump supporters, are they? Let's be serious.
And I would say to both the Mayor of London and to Jeremy Corbyn, the discussions that we have had today are about the future of this most important relationship between the US and the UK. As the President described it, the greatest alliance the world has seen. It is this deep, special relationship and partnership between the United States and the United Kingdom that ensures our safety and security, and the safety and security of others around the world too. And it is this relationship that helps to ensure there are jobs that employ people here in the UK and in the United States, that underpins our prosperity and our future. That is a relationship we should cherish. It is a relationship we should build on. It is a relationship we should be proud of.
Yeah, so fuck off, Corbyn, you communist weasel cunt. Even a useless fucker like Theresa May's got more fucking sense than Corbyn and fucking Kahn, the commie pricks. I mean, look at her. She's just telling them straight, like, you need to cherish this relationship that we have, because we have been friends for years. This is America and Britain we're talking about.
Mr. President, would you like to...
Big, and this really is a very big and important alliance. And I think people should act positively toward it, because it means so much for both countries. It means so much, and it's been so good. Steve Holland, yes, go ahead, Steve.
Thank you, Mr. President. Thank you. Is that on? There. What is your current view on Brexit, sir? Should Britain leave the European Union if there is no agreement by October 31st? And for the Prime Minister, what will be the ramifications for the UK if there is not a deal?
Well, I don't like to take positions in things that I'm not, really... I understand the issue very well. I really predicted what was going to happen. Some of you remember that prediction. It was a strong prediction made at a certain location on a development we were opening the day before it happened. And I thought it was going to happen because of immigration more than anything else, but probably it happens for a lot of reasons. But I would say, yeah, I would think that it will happen, and it probably should happen. This is a great, great country, and it wants its own identity. It wants to have its own borders. It wants to run its own affairs. This is a very, very special place, and I think it deserves a special place. And I thought maybe for that reason, and for others, but that reason it was going to happen. Yeah, I think it will happen. And I believe the Prime Minister's brought it to a very good point where something will take place in the not-too-distant future. I think she's done a very good job. I believe it would be good for the country.
I love how Trump sticks up for the country and its choice to leave the EU and reiterates how strong it will be on its own. Like, this is obvious. The Remainers are trying to put Project Fear out there to make everyone think that we ain't going to be okay on our own. We're going to be perfectly fine on our own. Trump knows this. We know it. Theresa May knows it, but she didn't care. She was trying to cave to the EU because she wanted them to have what they want. They had their finger over the top of her, telling her what to do. Trump knows that the people want to leave, that the people want to be able to determine themselves, to decide their own fate, which is all we want. And Trump's correct when he says about immigration. A lot of it is about immigration. It's not that the people of England don't want immigrants here. They just don't want uncontrolled immigration. The same way Trump doesn't want uncontrolled immigration of people just running over the border. We're lucky that we have the sea between us. We actually have the English Channel between us and France, us and mainland Europe. America doesn't have that, so that's why he wanted to build a wall. We already have our wall. It's called a wall of water. But with the EU, we're just allowing people to walk in, walk in, walk in. And he's saying on our own we can be stronger, which is true because we can still trade with the EU. We don't need to be a part of the European Union's custom union to trade with them. America trades with the EU, for God's sake.
Follow up with on a related matter. Mr. President, are you prepared to impose limits on intelligence sharing with Britain if they do not put in place some restrictions on Huawei?
No, because we're going to have absolutely an agreement on Huawei and everything else. We have an incredible intelligence relationship, and we will be able to work out any differences. I think we're not going to have it. We did discuss it. I see absolutely no limitations. We've never had limitations. This is a truly great ally.
And there we go, Trump rubbishes. And there we go, Trump rubbishes another one of the fake mainstream media's stories about how America's not going to share intelligence with the UK anymore. Trump's rubbished that straight away, and well done for him for rubbishing it, because they'll just keep trying to well, they'll probably still try and peddle it now.
Francis.
Mr. President, Francis Elliott from The Times. Do you agree with your ambassador that the entire economy needs to be on the table in a future trade talk, a trade deal, including the NHS? And Prime Minister, are you tempted to take the Prime Minister President up at his word and stick around for a bit until the trade deal is done?
I think we're going to have a great trade deal, yes. I think we're going to have a great and very comprehensive trade deal. I can't hear him.
It's the National Health Service. He says, should the National Health Service be on the table?
Look, I think everything with the trade deal is on the table. When you're dealing in trade, everything's on the table. So NHS or anything else, or a lot more than that. But everything will be on the table, absolutely. Okay.
But the point about making trade deals is, of course, that both sides negotiate and come to an agreement about what should or should not be in that trade deal for the future. And as regards your second question, Francis.
So there we have it. Obviously, the mainstream media has been pushing the narrative that Trump's going to try and take the NHS, or going to privatise the NHS and do it like an American system. And he still says it's on the table. Of course, everything, as I've said in a previous video, everything is on the table. It's a trade deal. They will negotiate. The government at the time will say certain things in the NHS American companies could maybe bid for, because they already tender for stuff already within the NHS. Contracts are handed out to subcontractors. I've worked in one of the jobs where we was a subcontractor for the NHS. So it does happen in certain situations. But no government is ever going to sell the NHS, as I've said before. They're never going to do that. It's never going to end up like that, because the population wouldn't stand for it. That's just something that won't happen. I'm not going to go into it because I've said it multiple times before, and it's just plain obvious. The government is not going to sell the NHS to any country anytime soon.
And President Trump, if I could ask a follow-up, you had a conversation with Boris Johnson. Could we ask what you spoke about, and will you meet with Michael Gove today?
So I know Boris. I like him. I've liked him for a long time. I think he'd do a very good job. I know Jeremy. I think he'd do a very good job. I don't know Michael, but would he do a good job, Jeremy? Tell me. Okay.
I love how Trump asked Jeremy Hunt if Michael Gove would do a good job. And look at Theresa standing there cackling away, knowing that they're just vying over your job. Unbloody believable. Trump's just there, and everyone thought that Trump was gonna slag off Theresa May and was gonna put her down and go against her, or that Theresa May was gonna go against Trump. Both were very respectable, as you would expect from two leaders of a nation, unlike the Labour Party idiots who wouldn't know respect if it come and bitch slapped them in the face. Now that's going to be the end of the video, guys. Let me know what you think down in the comment section below about the Trump news conference with Theresa May. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe, as it helps the channel a lot, and I'll catch you all in the next video.
Man's gonna kill this shit, you'll need SWAT and medics too. Off for the contract credits due. Punchline king, I'm ahead of you. A your knees where you're heading to. Whip is green but the lights are blue. Bars are shit, take the mic from you. Heating up cheese, I don't like fondue.